Welcome back. What are we doing? We're on our way to get soy sauce, aren't we? I'm going to. Lena, shouldn't you go to school? This is way more important than school. Yes, soy sauce is very important. Lena, you shouldn't come. If you get wrapped up in this too, then I think I might actually go crazy. Don't mind if I do. Lena didn't move her arm, which was blocking my way. If Keiichi-kun disappeared as well, then I think I might actually go crazy too. So I won't let you go alone. Lena argued boldly as tears welled up in her eyes. Yes, as you do. I saw them and I knew the strength of her resolve. All right, let's go. Thank you, Lena. Lena nodded slightly but firmly and finally let down the arm blocking me. Let's go. To Mion's house, yes! I'll apologize for the crimes I've committed. Then we'll put an end to these twisted days. Good luck with that. After that, I'll pray. That once more we can return to those fun, lively days. Yes, good luck. With Lena following me, I left the house. In front of the house, there was a car waiting. It was Oishi-san. It's always him. Hey, good morning, Maebara-san. To you too, Ryugu-san. Together so early in the morning. You make me jealous. Thanks for making it creepy. What a truly praiseworthy man he was. If he had been lying in wait so early in the morning just to pressure me into talking. On this morning, though, maybe this was actually a good opportunity. You're from the police. Oh, have I not introduced myself to you, Ryugu-san? Please excuse my rudeness. My name is Oishi from the Okinomiya Police Department. Pleased to meet you. Are we telling Oishi-san? Yeah, I think my palm... Huh? What? I think my palm is enough punishment for your crime, Keiichi-kun, but... Huh? What does that even mean? Does she mean the slap? That still doesn't even make sense. We should leave me-chans to these people. Okay. I've passed the sentence, but that is just weird. Pain and sadness. Same. I looked down. As those emotions built up in my heart. Oh, same. We have something to tell you, Oishi-san. Well now, what about? Should we stand here and talk or go inside the car? In the car, please. I only continued to look down weakly. All I could do was be thankful for how dependable Lena was. I just really wish this had a whole translation pass again to make all of these weird sounding sentences sound more natural. And also edit like 50% of the rambling. At Lena's urging, I revealed everything to Oishi-san. The latter, while making sure to throw in murmurs that he was paying attention every now and then, took notes. We continued that way for a while. How do you feel? Don't you feel a lot better now that you've told me? Oishi-san asked this while scratching his head with his ballpoint pen. Bro, you're going to draw on your head. Of course, I don't feel better. The price that had been paid up until now for me not owning up to my crimes had been so immense, but as long as that payment wasn't returned, the load on my chest could never be removed. Oh, that's an unfortunate image in my head. His radio started to emit static. Bzz bzz, this is Kumatani. Oishi-san, over. Yes, hello. This is Oishi. We got news a few minutes ago that she's been absent from school. No movement at the Sonozaki house. Our target is still on the premises. Yes, let's go. Yes, good. Keep a close watch out. Roger that. Cars 3 and 7 just arrived for support, and we've returned to base. Also, I think the division chief is looking for you, Oishi-san. He keeps annoying me too, even though I keep telling him I'm trying to get in touch with you. What should I do? If you're hard-pressed for an answer, tell him you're actually under orders not to wake me from my morning nap. Got it. Bzz. The radio grew silent. Yes, it grew silent. Sorry about that. It was about work. He just said there was no movement at the Sonozaki house, didn't he? Oh my, did it sound like that to you? This won't do. Please keep that a secret, all right? I don't have permission from the division chief to be making private inquiries like this. Oishi-san had suspected Mion for a long time. Nor for questioning witnesses or for searching houses. We don't have permission for anything, really. The Sonozaki House's defences, said to protect the family's members, are also in full working condition. Without a warrant, we can't do anything about anything, unless the crime happens right in front of us. Oishi-san, could you be... Lena's tone of voice alone was enough to make her spite clear as she stared at Oishi-san. You can't set foot in the Sonozaki house. Were you trying to get Keiichi-kun to go in there instead? Lena, what do you mean? This person, just as I thought, he plays really dirty. Stop, you're hurting my reputation. That said, I'm all ears to your explanation, okay? Oishi-san lit a cigarette and responded to Lena, wearing an expression implying he was calm and willing to let her comment slide. You can't get a warrant, but you've always had your eyes on Mi-chan because you thought she was suspicious. Yes. Indeed. You plotted to incite Keiichi-kun and have him go to the Sonozaki house. Then, if something were to happen to him, you would have used that as an excuse to go in. Isn't that right? I mean, it's a good plan. I only understood about half of what Lena was saying. I knew, however, that Oishi-san had been trying to use me. Even if Keiichi-kun got hurt as a result, have you no shame? Is this how the police do things? I mean, obviously. My, it seems we have an incredible detective on our hands. Oh my. Would you be interested in taking our exam? I'll gladly write a recommendation letter to get you into the detective division. Dude, could you imagine Lena as a police detective? You're despicable. Lena spoke quietly, her words dripping with hostility. I've been insulted in all kinds of ways in my life, but 1 or 2 words from a young girl is always the roughest for me. Thanks for making it weird again. Even so, I suppose I should thank you for not arresting Mi-chan yet. Don't mention it. Oishi-san seemed to be enjoying his exchange with Lena. This whole thing's so weird. The things this man thought were like a swamp. Excuse me? The things this man thought were like a swamp. I could barely see past the surface. Okay. That's, yes, that's a way of saying that sentence. It reminded me again of how much I disliked him. Why would you compare someone's thoughts to a swamp? That is so weird. Now then, as 2 esteemed friends of Mion Sonozaki-san, what do you plan on doing now? Will you wait kindly for me to go over the evidence and request a warrant? No, we won't wait for that. We'll go and make Mi-chan surrender herself. That's right. If she turned herself in, rather than be arrested, she might get a lighter sentence. At this point, perhaps that was the only pity I could find in me to afford her. I see. I wonder if it will go that well. If you're careless, you too may face danger, you know. Oishi-san was measuring our resolve. So, in a strong voice, I declared, We're fully prepared. Oishi-san gave us an unpleasant yet seemingly satisfied grin. It was then that I realized this man was trying to use us for his own convenience. Keiichi is truly the slowest on the block. If anything should happen to us, use that as an excuse. Though my greatest hope is that you will surround the place so that the criminal can't get away. Ryugu-san, you're good at negotiating too. I'm throwing in the towel. I surrender. What are you talking about? If the policemen surround Mi-chan's house, then that will be insurance for the worst case scenario. For the worst case. Plus, it would be another way of pressuring Mion to give herself up, wouldn't it? Oishi to Kuma-chan. Oishi to Kuma-chan. Bzz, bzz. This is Kumatani. Go ahead. Our two friends are going to play at the Sonozaki house. Make arrangements so that we can reinforce them if needed. Roger. Zzz. Their altogether too short conversation implied that our questioning was already part of their plans. Then, let's get going. Want to buy some tea biscuits on the way there? Oh, hell yeah. Neither Lena nor I went along with Oishi-san's stupid joke. Okay, but I still want the tea biscuits. Oishi stopped the car at the place where we always waited for Mion. Come to think of it, I've never been to Mion's house before. I've only heard that it's right down this road. This is as far as I can take you. According to our information, there are quite a few security cameras set up on the premises. Still, don't worry. I've got a bunch of youngsters ready and waiting to slip past them and go in. We'll be monitoring the inside with a one-way mic, so if you two give a loud scream, we'll know right away. We'll persuade her for sure, so please be ready for her to turn herself in. In both our eyes was determination. It was the only method available to us for lightening the sins of our good friend. What? Yes. Be plenty careful, you hear? Be plenty careful. Be plenty careful. You probably don't believe it right now, but I don't want you two being sacrificed, if at all possible. You're right about that. With that rude response, we left the car. Huh? The clinging humidity and voices of the cicadas greeted us. I'd never have expected this would be happening today. Let's go, Keiichi-kun. Lena took the lead and began to walk down the road I'd never been. Lena, you've been to Mion's house before, right? Yeah, a few times. It's a really big house. You could fit a mountain into their backyard too. Nice. You can pick mushrooms and stuff, though there are fences everywhere. Big enough to fit a mountain. That was amazing. One of the 3 families controlling Hinamizawa, and the head family of the Sonozaki clan. Perhaps there was something to be said about its magnitude. The path continued onward, level and uneventful. There were metal fences along its edges, and beyond them were woods with trees growing thickly. The fences were high, the tops of them bent inwards, sticking out like sharp spears. Plus there was dangerous-looking barbed wire wrapping them. No one could look at them and not feel intimidated. In addition, there were signboards hung up here and there along the fence. Private property of the Sonozaki family. Entrance forbidden. Beware of venomous snakes. Active security cameras. Intruders will be charged an entry fee of 1 million yen. This forest, or should I say mountain, is this all their yard? It's more like their domain. As you can see, it's private property, but nobody maintains it. The forest isn't really the kind that you can go hiking in. She could say that again. It really did feel like a neglected, savage woodland. It was dark and damp, and certainly not a forest that made you want to go for a nice walk. Joke's on you, that's exactly what I'm into. Maybe that's just what happens when a landowner has too much land. Like Oishi-san said, there were security cameras hung up all over the place. Though they had been weathered by wind and rain, casting doubt as to whether they were even functional. I wonder if Mion is watching us as we come to her. I don't think she is. The only people living in Mi-chan's house are generally her and her grandma, after all. That's gotta be lonely. There's nobody to watch the cameras. Wait, what? They have all of this security, and then there's nobody ever even watching the cameras. What's the point? Exactly. What a useless security system. Well, Mi-chan's father seems like a pretty tough person to get along with. So, whenever everyone in the family is getting together, the cameras are apparently working properly. That's right. Mion's father, he was a big shot Yakuza, wasn't he? Lena smoothly danced around the answer as she explained. At last, a huge gate, as big as I'd imagined, appeared. Was she living by herself with her grandmother in a house with such a grand gateway? I wonder if she's here. Beep. The old buzzer made a dull sound. Was it cut off in the middle and not getting to the house? We waited long enough without a response for me to start thinking like that. However, we finally heard footsteps walking through gravel on the other side of the gate. I nervously balled my hands, my palms now sweating, into fists. There was the clang of a bolt being released and the gate opened slightly. The person peeking out of the gap was none other than Mion. Well, this is unusual. Aren't you two going to school? Mion didn't seem all that surprised at visitors arriving in the morning, which wasn't a normal time. Wait, when do you usually get visitors? Is morning not the usual time for people to get their stuff done? Hello? In fact, she almost seemed relaxed, as if she knew we were coming beforehand. Wow, it's almost like she has security cameras. We stayed home today. Kei-chan is one thing, but you too, Lena. You two are such troublemakers. Mion smiled lightly in the way that the Mion we knew always did. Well, let's not just stand here. Come on in. She gestured for us to follow her. I hesitated for a moment, looking at Lena. Let's go. Lena smiled cheerfully, as if she were passing through the gate of a good friend's house, and then did just that. I rally myself and then go through the gate too. I rally myself. Wow, that looks nice. On the other side, it hadn't been maintained very well, but it was clear that the lot was magnificently wide. It wasn't quite what you'd think of when you hear mansion, but it was clearly a vast place. The things I would do to have a garden that size, oh my gosh. Was this the first time you've been here, Kei-chan? Yeah. This house is enormous. Steep thatched roofs aren't in fashion anymore. This place could be a tourist attraction. I want to rebuild it, using totally average and boring reinforced concrete soon. Wait, what? Why? Mion dryly smiled as she said that, then closed the gate and relocked the heavy bolt. Don't worry about it. Things have been dangerous lately. Got to do at least this much during the daytime. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it was my imagination, but I thought I saw a hint of a shadow in her smile. Well then, good sir and madam, I shall show you inside. Please come this way. Mion bowed to us like a worker at a high-class hotel, indeed, then pivoted on her heel and began to walk. Lena gripped my stiffening arm lightly. Keiichi-kun, you're too tense. We came to see Mi-chan, remember? You don't need to be that nervous. You're not my supervisor? That's right. When I get nervous, I tend to let everything show on my face. I'll stop tensing up. Even if something were to happen, there were two of us. Oishi-san's subordinates were waiting outside the gate for us too. There was nothing to worry about. Everything will be perfectly fine. After thinking about it that much, I realized my nervousness was already gone and laughed at myself. Okay, but seriously, I want that garden. What's this? What's this? There's music in the air. Mion, what's with this stone on top of the newspapers? It's in the way. There was a pile of newspapers on the floor of the entrance and there was a large rock on top of them. I didn't understand why something like that was here. Lena noticed me looking at it questioningly and giggled. Lena, do you know? What is this? Some kind of good luck charm? Ha 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 ha. If you don't really know, then feel free to move it out of the way and put your shoes there. Ha 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 ha. Keiichi-kun, there's a nest of swallows right above that stone. Huh? Oh, you're right. This house is for people, but swallows still come in without permission and make nests. It must be like a tradition for them. Whenever spring comes, they always make a nest here. It's kind of annoying though. In other words, it's a sign not to take off your shoes here, because swallow poop could end up in them. That's something I had to read today. Swallow poop. I couldn't help but laugh at the silly contrivance. My laughter naturally spread to the other two. Oh, ho, 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 ho. A really long time ago, the Sonozaki family apparently cultivated silkworms. Kuon. Our ancestors would get all worked up over exterminating the swallows, or now I want a Higurashi Kuon crossover. When you think of it that way, maybe this is our just desserts. Swallow poop. Anyway, come on in. The inside of the house wasn't very bright at all. It was dimly lit, in fact, but mysteriously I could still feel an elegance to the place. Mion seemed to want a more modern building, but traditional houses like this aren't bad either. Yeah, the traditional ones are nicer for me. You're kidding, right? There's a terrible draft, and the winters are freezing. I mean, even in the modern building I lived in, the winters were still freezing. Don't go making my house into property of cultural significance and getting in the way of renovations, got it? What I want most is a house like yours, Kei-chan. I'm pretty jealous of it. Wait, if they have that much land, why can't she just build a modern house, like, on another part of it? And then, like, keep this one as the traditional house? It seems like it would be warm in the winter. Oh, but snowfall seems like it would be a problem. Snowfall's a problem? Does Hinamizawa get that much snow? Our latitude is south of Kanto, isn't it? Isn't this region warm? Wait, what? Hinamizawa is in like the south of Japan? I always thought like it was based on like the northeast. Huh. Ah, you don't know, Keiichi-kun? Hinamizawa is an area that gets heavy snowfall. When we get a lot, everyone gets buried. Okay. Sometimes you can't even get out of your house. Sometimes your car gets totally buried too, and you can't find where it is. I've actually had times like that. Like, I never had a car myself, but I've seen the cars, like, fully buried under the snow. It was weird. I wasn't aware of that. Hinamizawa was that bad a place in the winter. Come to think of it, my dad, he said something like, this place got plenty of snow, so we could have fun building igloos. Still, your front door getting buried, not being able to find your car, that's way too much snow. You remember from geography class, right? The western side of Japan gets cold winds from Asia. We're different from those softies protected by the mountains, nice and warm by the Pacific Ocean. Wait, so where exactly is Hinamizawa supposed to be? The west side of Japan, but south of Kanto is not a lot of land. I will look this up. I'm totally okay with being a softie and nice and warm. I hate the cold. We'll have to have a training camp to get Kei-chan used to the cold this winter then. No way, there's no way that's happening. I hate the cold and I hate training camps too, and I hate them even more put together. Mion laughed more uproariously than she ever had, then told us she'd bring out some tea and left her seat for the moment. We didn't pick up the tea biscuits. Still, there's a lot of fun things to do in the winter. I bet our club will be a blast then. Our club continuing activities through the winter sounds totally horrible. Like swimming in the cold or marching in the snow. When did we turn into Mount Redhorn? I'm sorry, what? Yeah, there definitely are a lot of tough punishment games for the winter season. One time she made us have a Rio Carnival in the schoolyard while snow was falling. I see the terror of our club cared not for the season. The victor would be decided by who could best adapt to the winter-only events. We do snowball fights and shaved ice-eating contests and treasure hunts in the snow. Wait, why is everything outside? Why can't we play tabletop games in a nice warm room while it's snowing? Whoa, Keiichi-kun, if you're saying things like that, then you're gonna lose a lot this winter. We'll have lots of punishment games, and then I won't lose how. Don't give me that how. I settled things with a cross chop to the head. Yes, just normal human interactions. Ha 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 ha, you sure are having fun. Our walls aren't very thick, so be careful not to go flying through any, okay? The paper sliding door opened and Mion returned with a pot and a complete tea set. Do you want sesame seeds on your rice? Yes, please. Sorry, we don't have much in the way of bean paste or other good stuff. It's okay. We didn't really come here to drink tea anyway. I did. And with those words, the smile disappeared from Nena's face. She did it. That one careless statement reminded us of what we had nearly been able to forget. I had wanted to enjoy this peaceful time for a little longer, but we put an end to that with those honestly careless words. When she noticed the smile disappear from Nena's expression, Mion too changed hers. It was as if the cheerful air that was like a warm spring day until a moment ago had slipped through the cracks in the paper door and altogether disappeared. There was no point in regretting it now. We did not come here today to chat and enjoy ourselves. Mion silently poured the tea. During that time, both Nena and I sat kneeling without uttering a word. Here you are, drink up. We couldn't even mutter a word of acknowledgement at those natural words of courtesy. That is just the strangest way to put that sentence. Why? Why? There's no poison in it or anything. Do you distrust me that much? That's upsetting. Mion gave a bitter smile at that and let her shoulders droop. We all remained silent. We remained silent, hoping that someone else would speak up first. That was, however, the one thing we didn't want to do, and so we sat for a long time. At last, Mion smiled scornfully and opened her mouth to speak. Hey now, Kei-chan, Nena, you're the guests. Didn't you come here for something? If you don't speak up first, this old man won't know what to do. Nena and I exchanged glances, and we both resigned ourselves. Nena opened her mouth to speak first, so I stopped her. Keiichi-kun, it's okay. I needed to come here. Let me talk first. Okay, I understand. What would Kei-chan have to tell me? Please give me your daughter's hand in marriage, maybe? Ha 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 ha. Can't do that. My little Nena and Kei-chan aren't meant for each other. Go wash your face with miso soup and try again. Excuse me? Go wash your face with miso soup. That's amazing. Afterwards, I thought her mean remarks were Mion's own way of showing consideration. I want to get a shirt with that. Go wash your face with miso soup. Mion had said those mean things in a totally normal voice, and it drained the tension from my shoulders. Mion, first, I have something to apologize for. You do? What for? Mion pretended that she didn't know what I was talking about, but I'd clearly gotten my point across. Well, on the night of Watanagashi, the ritual storehouse behind the shrine, I went in there. I could see Mion's expression immediately became harder. I knew it was somewhere I wasn't supposed to go, but it was just supposed to be a little bit of exploration. We didn't mean anything by it. Even so, I still shouldn't have done it. So I apologize. I'm sorry. To display my deepest sincerity, I pressed my forehead to the table. I'd meant it as my way of prostrating myself. I figured it wouldn't feel sincere enough if I raised my head right away, so I left it there on the table for a while. Mion didn't say anything. With my face down, I couldn't tell what sort of expression Mion had. Only the voices of the cicadas filled the room. Mixed with them, I could hear the sound of the clock ticking. That was all. When I started to struggle to breathe from having my head down for so long, Mion told me to stop. You got me there. I didn't expect you to pitch it to me straight. You've got me on the ropes. I looked up to see that Mion's face was calm, but she was smiling faintly. If you understand that even though it was only a casual exploration for you, Kei-chan, that there are a lot of people who think it's no laughing matter. Then it's okay. There's an old saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. It's been days since then. It's been months. It may be too late, but I apologize. What I did was wrong. Please forgive me. I could feel pitiful tears welling up within me. If I had done this sooner, maybe nothing terrible would have happened. It's okay. If you know what you did was bad, then that's enough, alright? Mion spoke like it was someone else's problem, and I wasn't happy about it. Mi-chan, Keiichi-kun is apologizing seriously. I think maybe you should respond seriously as well. I am being serious though. Do I not look serious to you, Nena? You don't. Nena was giving her tit for tat, and so the room's atmosphere quickly began to grow sharper. Indeed. She was right. Even though I came here to speak from the heart like this, it felt like she hasn't been taking this seriously. Obviously, Nena isn't fond of that. Alright, we're going to end this episode here. Progress. There has been decidedly less waffling this week. It is good to see. We're in the house. We are not very far from the ending. I'm not sure exactly how much further away it's going to be in this, but I'm assuming it's not that far. Anyway, come back next week and find out what is going to go down in the Sonozaki house. I can only assume stuff. It's going to be stuff. I'll see you guys then. See ya.